Welcome to Azure Databricks Data Engineer Associate DP-750 exam prep video for a complete navigation. What is DP-750? Implementing data engineering solutions using Azure Databricks. Who is the DP-750 exam for? DP-750 exam skills measured. How to prepare effectively for the DP-750 exam. 1. You need to run a scheduled production ETL workload every night. The workload should start automatically, run the pipeline, and terminate after completion to reduce cost. Which compute type is the best choice? A. All-purpose classic compute. B. Job compute. C. SQL warehouse. D. Shared compute. 2. A data engineering team runs a large Spark transformation that experiences slow performance during wide joins and aggregations. The workload frequently requires more workers during peak processing but should scale down when demand decreases. Which configuration should you enable? A. Auto-scaling cluster with an appropriate node type. B. Fixed-size cluster with no auto-scaling. C. Single-node cluster with photon disabled. D. SQL warehouse with manual scaling only. 3. Your company has separate development, testing, and production environments. You need to organize Unity catalog objects so that each environment is isolated and easy to manage. Which naming strategy is most appropriate? A. Use one catalog for all environments and separate tables only by name. B. Use external locations only and avoid catalogs. C. Store all objects in the default schema. D. Create separate catalogs such as dev, test, and prod. 4. A table contains customer names, email addresses, and social security numbers. Analysts need access to customer names and emails, but social security numbers must be hidden or masked. Which Unity catalog feature should you use? A. Cluster policy. B. Delta cache. C. Column mask. D. Autoloader. 5. A notebook needs to connect to an external database. The password should not be hard-coded in the notebook. What should you do? A. Store the password in a notebook variable. B. Store the password in Azure Key Vault and access it from Azure Databricks. C. Save the password in a Delta table. D. Add the password to the cluster name. 6. You need to ingest data from a supported SaaS application into Databricks with minimal custom code. The pipeline should support managed ingestion patterns. Which tool is most appropriate? A. LakeFlow Connect. B. Manual file upload. C. Spark UI. D. Unity Catalog Lineage View. 7. An IoT system sends sensor events continuously to Azure Event Hubs. The business requires near real-time processing in Azure Databricks. Which ingestion approach should you use? A. Batch ingestion with weekly refresh. B. CTAS from a static table. C. Manual CSV upload. D. Spark structured streaming from Azure Event Hubs. 8. A pipeline ingests JSON files from an external source. New columns may appear over time, but invalid data types should not silently corrupt the target table. What should you implement? A. Disable all schema checks. B. Convert every column to string permanently. C. Use schema enforcement and manage schema evolution carefully. D. Store only raw files and never create tables. 9. A multitask LakeFlow job fails on the third task after the first two tasks completed successfully. You want to rerun only the failed task and any dependent downstream tasks. What should you use? A. Repair run. B. Delete and recreate the job. C. Restart the entire workspace. D. Run vacuum on all tables. 10. A team wants to deploy Databricks jobs, notebooks, pipeline definitions, and environment-specific settings consistently across development, staging, and production. Which approach should they use? A. Manually copy notebooks between workspaces. B. Use Databricks asset bundles with version control and CLI deployment. C. Store job configuration in screenshots. D. Use only interactive clusters for deployment. Check the correct answers for each question. Subscribe Passert for more IT exam prep.